Okay, I'm just going to go over real quick, taking off the hub off my trailer here for my boat trailer, just to make sure the bearings look good for a long journey down to the Keys. So I've already taken the tire off, just used the jack that was in my truck, jacked it up, and I'm going to start disassembling the hub. So basically just the bearing buddy I've kind of got half off already, but you basically just rotate and the bearing buddy comes off like that. And then I already straightened out the cotter pin on the castle nut here, so basically just straighten it out first, and for time's sake I just already straightened it out. Pull that out and just turn the castle nut guard here. This one's got a little guard that goes over the nut that keeps the nut from turning. As you can see, this little thing that goes over top of that keeps that from happening. Just a little thing that goes over top of it, and that goes over top of this nut, which keeps the nut from backing off. So just take both of those off, keep putting that stuff in a clean spot. Start to pull off the hub itself. A little flat washer will come off first, and then the outer bearing will come off here. Okay, so here's the outer bearing. Put that down, that's some clean. So we got the hub off. So we got the hub, got the outer inner seal here, the inner bearing, and we've got the spindle. So I'm just going to clean that spindle off a little bit real quick here. Get a good look at what the spindle's all about here. So I got the spindle all cleaned up. So you can see we're going right here. So what I'm going to eventually do is I'm going to go and I'm going to clean this whole spindle up real nice and neat. I'm going here. I'm going to clean out all the grease that's in here. Make sure my outer race and my inner race are clean. I'm going to have to pull this seal off and to get to the inner bearing in here and replace the seal. When you take these seals off, the only way it seems to be able to get them off is to destroy them when you do it. So I'll put a new seal on there, and then clean that all up, put some new grease in it, and reinstall it on the spindle. So I'll come back in a few minutes. Okay, I'm just going in here removing this seal. Like I said, the only way to get it out is to get underneath it and then try and prop it out. There we go. Okay, and that's it. That seal's out. So I got the seal out. You can see we destroyed it getting the seal out of there. So that's removing the seal. Now we can get to the inner bearing. We'll clean that all up, and we'll get all this grease all out of here, all cleaned up. Got all this grease in here cleaned up, and then we'll inspect both of the races, and we'll come back. Okay, and as you can see, I've got the bearings all cleaned out of grease and stuff like that. So there you can inspect the outer race, and you can see it's all nice and clean. There's no discoloration. You can feel it with your finger there to see if there's any edges or anything that catches there. This one looks really nice and smooth. Then again, we've taken off the seal so we can get to this inner race, and inner race again looks really nice and clean. I'll try to back it up here so you can see a little better, and you can see in there real good. But I cleaned all that old grease out of there, so that we're going to pack it with some new grease, get it all nice and looking good again. But again, just looking for discoloration, wear marks on the race, and this one looks good, so I don't really see any problem there. Looks good. Okay, the only other thing we're going to take a look at is I cleaned up the bearings here real good. Checking to make sure there's no discoloration on the bearings. Inside of the bearing, make sure there hasn't been any heat discoloration over time. Feels good. That's the inner bearing. Here's the outer bearing. Same thing. Just check it to make sure that it looks good. No discoloration on either side. Clean those out. We're going to repack them and put it back on. Now, if you want to measure what your spindle is, you have the inner spindle and the outer spindle. So So you can just put the measure on here, and this one comes out to, see if you can see that or not, 1 3/8. So I got a 1 1/16 and 1 3/8 inner spindle. So that's the measurement for the bearings, from what I understand. And as far as the depth of the hub, yes, you just measure from like this, and this particular one, it measured out to 4 1/8, which is the size of the hub for replacing the hub. So it's 4 1/8 deep. Okay, well, I've got the hub out here. I have repacked the bearings here. Got those all nice and cleaned and packed. I actually ended up replacing the bearings, actually, because I noticed when I was going through some of these there was some wear, and once I took out the grease I didn't like the way they sounded, and I had an extra pair of bearings, so I just decided to get a new pair of bearings that I had, packed those up nice with some nice grease, and I packed the inner bearing here, and I've set it in the race ready to put in the seal. So I put a little light coat of grease on the inside of where the seal is going to go, put a little grease on the outside of the seal, help it slip in nice and easy. I'm just going to line it up there, and I'm going to tap it in here. Okay, I got the seal started. Looks good. Looks like it's all the way down. Okay, good. That's sealed all the way in. Okay, got that all nice and greased up. I reinstall the hub with the seal on it. Slip that over there. My outer bearing. Slip that back in there. Slip that in there. Okay, now we're going to have to put it on flat washer. Put on my nut. I'm just going to run this down until it's tight. Make sure I got it snug. Kind of tighten it, loosen it a little bit. Back it off to where it feels good. And that's it right there. Just got to put on my tussle nut holder. Put the pin through. Bend that pin up, and okay, I just rebent the cotter pin here so that the cotter pin can't come out. Get that all bent down there. You crank it up just a little bit more. Okay, that's not going anywhere. And we're done. All we gotta do is put the bearing, clean the bearing buddy up, put the bearing buddy back on there, and we're good to go. Okay, now we got that all cleaned up. We're gonna tap the bearing buddy back on there. Okay, that's back on. Okay, now I'm just going to use my little grease pumper here. I'm going to pump grease back into here. So I'm just going to click on my little grease pumper here. There we go, it's on there. Just start pumping that grease. If you can see this or not, you can see how you'll see this start to push back after I start to really pack that grease in there. That's all the grease I'm going to put in there for now. Put on our little cap here, and we're good to go. Done.